Hey guys, this is Kyle, aka Vulcan Wolverine, aka Vulcan Wolverine 2. And it is Saturday. It's like Saturday afternoon. It's about 1:20 p.m. October 12th, 2019. And I just wanted to do a live stream. I'm back from Miami. I was going to do a live stream last night, Friday night, but I was really tired. I wasn't using my defenses like all day long while I was in Miami, and it kind of the attack started to get worse. But I'm going to kind of wait for a couple people. I know there are a couple people in chat, and welcome to chat. If you're watching, hey Cheryl. Cheryl says, Kyle, welcome back. Good to see you. It's good to see you too, Cheryl. And what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to kind of try and not talk about anything too important, like right at the beginning, to wait for some people to maybe to get into the live stream. But I'm just going to go through like all my notes of the appointment that I had with Dr. Hoffer. Maybe talk about some of the other stuff that kind of happened in Miami. But it was good. And hey, Deb, hey, how are you doing, Deb? It's good to see you. Yeah, and what I want, guys, like while y'all come in to chat, what I wanted to do is I'm going to go through all my notes, and my mom also took notes in the appointment. And I got pretty lucky because since I was a targeted individual that traveled so far to see Dr. Hoffer, I had like a 20-minute, like he talked to us for like 20 minutes. Then I went to get a hearing test, and then he talked to us for another like 15 minutes. So there's a lot of conversation. I kind of wish that, and I don't even know if, because I would have had to have told him that I wanted to do this, but I wish that I would have like brought an audio recorder and recorded the whole thing, so I could not so I could play it back like on a live stream, but just so I could remember everything. So I'm going to try and remember everything that we talked about and everything like that. And hey, Future Knowledge. Future Knowledge says, hello, Kyle. Nice to be back on your live stream. Yeah, it's great to see you, Future Knowledge. And you've been putting out a lot of great videos, man. So I hope you're hanging in there. I hope everybody's hanging in there. I'm getting attacked pretty hard. And it started to get kind of worse in Miami. But now that I'm back in my own environment and I'm using my defenses all the time, I'm kind of getting it toned down and everything like that. But what I wanted you guys to do, I'm going to go through some notes on my visit with Dr. Hoffer. I went over some things on my updates. I might repeat some of those things. And first off, I'm going to go over like the important stuff that he recommended that can help us, right? But what I want to do, guys, is if you guys can just ask me questions, just be like, did he tell you about this? Did he talk about this? Because then that can maybe jog my memory, and I can be like, okay, well, he did say something about that, or he didn't say something about that. So I got to talk to him for about like 35 minutes in total, and it was a lot of really good information. So I'm just going to go through as much as I can remember. If I do forget something, then I'll mention it on another live stream. But I just kind of wanted to hang out and go through it. And this is my hearing test. It's kind of weird. Like the hearing test was really weird. I guess somebody could freeze frame that and check it out. But I'll leave it up a little while. It really knows about these things. But I ended up like my left and right ear were kind of bad in hearing from the 4,000 to 8,000 hertz range. But he was saying it wasn't anything like to be concerned about. It wasn't like damage that was like really horrible and just needed to be taken care of. Hey Jeff, man, what's going on, brother? Jeff says, Wolverine, what's up, homie? Nothing much. I got back from Miami. I'm getting attacked, pretty severely in my head and my chest. But since I'm getting back, I'm kind of leveling it out. I'm kind of just working with my defenses all the time. And hey, David says, love your new poster. Is that an old Bob Layton cover? I think it might be. It's kind of blurry because I put it on these like stick tacks, and it's kind of leaning forward, so you can't really see it that well. I'm gonna have to put it flat so that you guys will be able to see it. And I think I'm gonna put something like over here. I think I'm gonna try and fill up the whole the whole camera so you guys can look at some cool stuff. But it's I don't know if it's Bob Layton. It's issue 47. It's issue 47 of the Invincible Iron Man, and it says like the birth of power. It's like, it's not a poster. It's one of those like hardwood things that but I really like it. I like it how he's like breaking those chains, you know, because I really want to break the chains of this targeting. I hate it so much. But let me kind of get started and go through this. But guys, so if you just came in, I know there might not be a lot of people in chat today because it's early, but I kind of needed to do it when I had some energy. I felt like if I wait until tonight, I would just be, I wouldn't be able to remember as much. Jeff O says, you look good, Wolverine, fresh face. Yeah, I look good. I got a zit over here. Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit better now that I'm home. It was pretty bad. I was getting hit in the hotel room. Like I was getting hit very hard in the hotel room, in my chest. It was like there was heat in front of my chest, and it felt kind of like right under, like like not making my heart beat, 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 but it was like I could barely breathe. And then of course the V2K was going like the entire time, except for 30 minutes of the flight to Miami, it stopped. But on the way back, the whole flight, like in the way there, the V2K was still there. When I touched down in Miami, the V2K was a little bit lower for about a day. And then everything went back up to the same levels it was in Baton Rouge, you know. Hey, Steven, and hey, Brenda. I hope you guys are doing well. And hey, Moment of Truth, how are you doing, man? I want to make Moment of Truth. I'm going to make you a moderator, Moment of Truth. I need a couple more moderators just in case, but I don't know. My chats are really good. I've been lucky. Where's some wood to knock on? Knock on wood. Not a lot of harassers and stuff like that have been coming in lately. So I hope that keeps up. I'll kind of take any kind of, stress-free thing that we can get, Okay, so Moment of Truth says, I just had a live show, a Bible study. Everybody check out Moment of Truth's channel, and Moment of Truth is doing live stream. So subscribe to Moment of Truth's channel. And I'll check that out, Moment of Truth. I'm pretty sure I'm subscribed to you. I think I am. Yeah. But so this is my hearing test. He said, okay, so this might not be as organized as I want it, but I showed him the noise canceling hearing aids I had. He said, those are good. Those are a good type of noise canceling hearing aids to defend from the targeting. I'm trying to think where I should start, but he said, that's a really good type, these little Briscoe silver ones. He said, if my ears were damaged, like if there were damage to my ears and I couldn't hear at certain levels, then he would think about recommending a specific type of noise canceling hearing aids. But he said for the directed energy weapon attacks, for the stuff that they're doing to the ears, this is a good noise canceling hearing aid. He also said, that the noise canceling Beats, the headphones, the noise canceling headphones Beats were a good thing. And what he recommended using the noise canceling hearing aids through the day for the targeting, for like the tinnitus sound and the stuff that we're experiencing with remote neural manipulation and body pain and stuff like that. But he said at night, you should take the noise canceling hearing aids out and switch them off with the Beats noise canceling headphones. Now, the Beats noise canceling headphones, I'll pull those up later. In the live stream, but they're $350. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to buy those. I kind of think because the way that the targeting is so severe with us, that, I'd go ahead. What I do is I use Dave Case's CD at night, and I told him about that. I said, well, I use Dave Case's CD. It's like specific frequencies that confuse our attackers. And he was like, oh yeah, like a frequency. What did he say? He said, yeah, like a frequency, like a frequency counter, I think that he said. So the two things that he said that are helpful are the noise canceling hearing aids. And he said the kind that I got, the Britsco, they're like silver. I think for both of them, it's like $120. And then the Beats noise canceling headphones. He said those work very, very well because he said our attackers for this angle of the attacks, they're attacking the inner ear, and it's a specific part of it. I'll pull that up. Let me go ahead and pull that up, and I'll go through that. But basically, like, I mean, basically what he was saying is he was like, and I don't want to get ahead of myself, but he said, you know, wish I could help you more. He said, I have no doubt that you're being hit with directed energy weapons, but he said, all I can do is tell you, are you like Cuba or are you not like Cuba? And what he meant was, did I present the same symptoms as the Cuban embassy workers? Which he said I did not. I told him, like, I have a loss of balance, I have the high-pitched tinnitus sound, you know, I have like the targeting symptoms, but he said that the Cuban embassy workers had something very, very specific, and he wouldn't say what it was because he doesn't want people just coming in and saying that exact thing. So I kind of understand why he wouldn't want to give out that information. But what I'm thinking is that it's a very specific damage to the inner ear and a specific imbalance. It's very, very specific. What he said was, this is a really important part, guys. This is really, really important. He said a word, and my mom wrote it down, and I can't read her writing, but it's something like, and anybody in chat, let me know, tell me if y'all recognize this. He said, Zen calcitrates. Zen calcitrates. That's what I don't know if I'm getting that right, but basically he was talking about toxins, like not necessarily nanoparticulates. I guess that could be in there, but he didn't say nanoparticulates. He said like something calcitrates, which are toxins, specific toxins that are put into a targeted individual's area, and it will make them experience the directed energy differently. Like it will make the directed energy interact with their body, their nervous system, and their brain differently. And so when he was saying, all I can really tell you is if you're like Cuba or you're not like Cuba, he said, I don't doubt that you're being hit with directed energy weapons. That was nice. It was nice to have an authority figure, confirm in front of my mom that yeah, because I told him everything that was going on with me. But I think it was Zen calcitrates. Has anybody heard of something calcitrates? But he said that is a key factor in all this targeting. It's a key factor in all these directed energy weapon attacks. Specific toxins being put, and we talked about this as targeted individuals, but it's nice to have it confirmed. I want to just kind of say everything that he said because it confirms a lot of what we've been talking about. Specific toxins being put in targeted individuals' environments, which make the directed energy weapons interact with their nervous system and brain and their body, differently, right? That was a huge point. He said that's a huge factor in it. And hey, Nicholas, hey man, you've been putting out a lot of great stuff. Nicholas Hamblin, everybody check out Nicholas Hamblin's channel. He's been mirroring a lot of important stuff and making a lot of great videos. Yeah, sorry guys if I don't read all y'all's comments, but he says, hello, VW, thank you. I wish noise canceling headphones work for me. I've heard significant reduction for many, but not all. Well, Nicholas, I haven't tried the noise canceling headphones, but I have tried the noise canceling hearing aids, and they not only mess with the V2K, they not only lower the V2K, but they help the nervous system pain for remote neural manipulation. And Dr. Hoffer said, I mean, those were his two things that could help us, right? So I'll talk about that later. I'll talk about like what I would, if I was a targeted individual, would I go see him or not? But it's good that I went and saw him. It was worth it. But the two things, as he said, the noise canceling hearing aids, the noise canceling headphones, because remember, he is an ENT. I did think that he had more knowledge about the brain. I knew he wasn't a neurologist, but I did think he would be able to test my balance and my balance and eye movement and everything like that. He said that he could set me up with somebody in Miami to do that, and he would take a look at it, but he doesn't do that. And we didn't have enough time for me to set up another appointment. Man, I've really got to talk. Like, I hate it because I forget stuff that I'm talking about. But the noise canceling hearing aids reduce even body pain, like when your back starts hurting from stuff that your attackers are doing to your brain and stuff. The noise canceling headphones have been a miracle, guys. So, and he recommends those too. Now, the noise canceling headphones, he said specifically Beats. He said, get the Beats headphone, the noise canceling headphone, the Beats, Beats. I knew what he was talking about. My mom was like, what's that? But he said, he specifically recommended those. The problem is I looked them up. They're like $350. So I don't know how realistic that's going to be for any of us. Now, the noise canceling hearing aids, they're about, to get a nice pair, it's about $120. I think they're going to work better. I do. He didn't say that. That's what I'm saying. David Irwin says, DOD's got him exploring specific symptoms. David Irwin says conductive micromedia. Now let me say that, because I did talk about that. That's a good point, David. Let me tell y'all what I think about that, because this is, he looked at my mom. I forgot what we were talking about. It was maybe me, and I said, or she said, oh, well, Kyle thinks the DOD is doing it, because I still do. I still think the DOD has contractors underneath them, the specific branches, and they're doing this research, they're doing this experimentation, they're doing this torture. He looked at my mom and he said, I work for the DOD. And then he said, and he meant like he was checking into the Cuban embassy workers for the DOD, not the DOJ. He said the DOJ is bad. He said the DOJ is very bad. But he said that it's not the DOD. He said it's not the DOD. What I think, and then I said this. This is what I said. I said, well, is it the CIA? I said, then is it the CIA? And he goes, no, it's not the CIA. Remember, and this is just Dr. Hoffer, saying what he thinks. I disagree with him, but he said this. He said, think about agencies that work on domestic soil. And he was very careful about how he talked about this. I know he definitely knew more. He knows more about this, but I'm just a targeted individual coming in to speak with him, and he was careful about what he said. He would nod and kind of do stuff. He was trying to help me. He's a good guy. This is what I think. I think that Dr. Hoffer does do work for the DOD, like checking out the Cuban embassy workers and stuff like that. If a targeted individual comes in with the specific symptoms that the Cuban embassy workers have, he would probably document that. I don't think he didn't want to know more from me. He didn't want to know any more information from me. So I don't think he's not like writing medical papers, which is what I was hoping. He's not like writing medical papers about anything, except if you're like Cuba, he'll probably ask for more information from you. But what I think that he is working for the good DOD. You see what I'm saying, guys? This is a lot more complicated than just the whole DOD is corrupt. He's working for a compartment of the DOD that is looking into this to try and see what's happening and try and stop it. Now, there's another compartment of the DOD that's doing it. That's how bad things are. Things are so bad that two people can work for the same agency, and one of them's looking for what's going on with this, and another compartment is doing it. And I think that's what we have going on here. I think he like, I'm pretty good. I'm good at, like, I'm an empathetic person, so I can tell if somebody's good. He's a good guy. Like Dr. Hoffer is a good guy, and he's really trying to figure this out. And let me tell you this. Let me move to this. You know, I kind of stopped everything. My mom was kind of, well, my mom brought me there and helped me pay for all this. So, you know, thank God for her. But she started saying, you know, she kind of broke in and was like, well, Kyle's had Crohn's disease, and and we think maybe he has post-traumatic stress. So she was telling me she believed me, but she was still kind of on the fence about believing me. But he kind of looked over at her and he was like, no, that would have nothing to do with it, because he believed me. Like that was a great thing. He knows that this is going on. He knows that it's much bigger than the Cuban embassy attacks. He didn't come right out and say like, I know that American citizens are being experimented on and tortured, right? He just said, I don't doubt that you're being hit with directed energy weapons. So after my mom said that, and he goes, well, that has nothing to do with it. I go, okay, wait. I just said, wait. Okay, are there doctors like you? Are there authority figures like you? Are there, agencies in the United States? Are there people working on this? Is it gonna come to an end soon? Is this program going to end? Is there somebody trying to end this? And he goes, like, I mean, I'm not exaggerating. He was like, whole neck nod. So he was signaling that there are people working on stopping this. So it kind of, this whole appointment kind of gave me more of a feeling that there are white hats. There are people in these agencies that really don't know that it's happening, and they are trying to stop it. But we're in such a bad situation in our country, and other countries are in this bad situation, that you're going to have compartments in that same agency doing it, and you're going to have good guys in that department, in that agency, who don't know that it's going on, and they actually are searching for answers of what's happening. But he did know a lot more, than he could say. I'll put it that way. And my mom said, be careful about that. She was like, don't conjecture a lot. So I'll let you guys know when I'm hypothesizing, when it's my opinion, and I'll let you know what he just said. You know what I'm saying? Because I think he's a very good man. I think he wants to help us. The deal is though, and so Tim Greenglass says the DOD is really into discouraging dissent. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, it's a fake factory. Asked, how much did he charge you? I used my Medicare. I used Medicare to go see him, and we didn't have to pay anything on our way out. So I used Medicare. They told me before I went that that the Medicare might not be able to cover it. But I think what happened is Dr. Hoffer coded it. He coded it in a way like how doctors put codes on things to say like they're treating this or they're treating that. I think he coded it so that Medicare would cover it, because we didn't have to pay anything. They didn't talk about billing us as we left. So I mean, that's an awesome thing, because they told me like Medicare might not cover it. I get, from the conversation, I got a lot more stuff. We're just going to hang out. I try and talk fast, because I feel like I'm going to forget stuff, or I'm going to get really, really disorganized. So I apologize for that, because the mind control, and I do say mind control now, because my mind, the remote neural manipulation stuff has been very, very bad lately. The attacks have been very, very bad lately. I appreciate Jeff earlier saying that I look good. I really appreciate that, but my insides and my head and everything, I feel really chewed up and cooked, and my brain is just having a lot of trouble. So Medicare did cover it. Medicare did cover it, which is a great thing. I'll just go to this. I might say some things. I might say some things over again. This is me, guys. I'm not a doctor. But the thing, because I asked him about like, is there a specific I got to ask him a lot of stuff. I mean, I had like, what was it? It's like 20 minutes, and then the hearing test, and then 15 minutes. So a lot of good information. But I asked him, if there was like a supplement or a medication, like a nerve blocker, that could really specifically help us with what our attackers are doing, to our brains and in our bodies, like for external attacks and for remote neural manipulation. And he said he was like, well, I could give you some good recommendations for pain management, but nothing specific to being hit. And this is how he said it. Like, he never said remote neural manipulation. He never said remote neural monitoring. He said being hit with directed energy. That's how when he said anything, it was like being hit with directed energy. That's how he said it. But he didn't have anything specific, right? He didn't have like a specific pain management clinic that would have something specific for the targeting. And also, it's like we only had 3 days, so I wasn't going to be able to make a bunch of appointments in Miami. Let me see if any more of you guys have questions. Yeah, Trevor says, anyone else have cold legs and feet? Feels like radiation poisoning's on blast. Well, Trevor, like with my remote neural manipulation that my attackers do to me, it can heat up my body, or it can make my extremities really cold. They can mess with my body temperature through frequencies to the brain. Yeah, Steven Starr says, thank God, need to hear good guys stopping it. Can't do it much longer. That was and Steven, that was the most hopeful thing in the whole thing. Like, I mean, I think the noise canceling hearing aids, like he confirmed that that's like a really good way, but Jax had already kind of said that. And then the Beats, the noise canceling headphones. But when I asked him that, I stopped and I said, are there authority figures? Is this going to end soon? Are authority figures trying to stop this? And he was like, I mean, he was doing this. He wasn't just like, it was like, but he didn't say anything. He didn't say anything, but he was trying to help. He was trying to help. I think he could only say certain things, but he knew that, like, I'm a targeted individual and I've been going through hell. I told him it was for a very, very long time. And he really wanted to help, So I did get some hope from that. There are good guys. There are good guys in these agencies, but I just, like I said earlier, the problem is you got, Dr. Hoffer, who's like checking out the Cuban embassy workers for the DoD. He may be checking into us. Like, it doesn't seem like it though, because he didn't want any information from me. Like, I think if I would have presented exactly like the Cuban embassy attack, like the Cuban embassy workers, then he probably would have wanted more information from me. So let me jump to this. Would I recommend, if you're a targeted individual, to go see him, to go all the way to Miami? And I would say this: if you have damage to your hearing, like if you're getting the tinnitus like sound, you're getting the body pain, you're getting the targeting, you're getting V2K, and then when you don't have the hearing aids in, or you don't have any Dave Case CDN, you can't hear normally, like how Brian too says, my normal hearing is completely distorted. If you have that, I think that it would be very, very useful to go see Dr. Hoffer. I think it'd be very, very useful. I think that you could get the testing like this. And my hearing was really weird. It's really weird to take a hearing test. You guys can get a screenshot if you want and try and look at that if y'all know how to read it. But it's my hearing from 4,000 to 8,000 hertz was really messed up. It was very weird because my V2K the whole time was trying to, like, the guy would go, kill yourself, and then they started making these weird noises while I was doing the hearing test. So that may be why I got screwed up on some of the frequencies. But he said it wasn't like a lot of damage, because with my targeting, like if I take these hearing aids out, my hearing is a little bit messed up. Like the levels of hearing is a little bit messed up. But even though I have the tinnitus-like sound and, remote neural manipulation, heat to the head, like my body's being cooked, my hearing is still pretty normal. And I think a lot of targeted individuals have that, where their hearing's not completely being destroyed. But then there are a lot of targeted individuals who their hearing's really messed up. You know, it's really messed up. And I think that it would be worth it to go see Dr. Hoffer if you're a targeted individual whose hearing is messed up. Yeah, Jeanette Zet said, I had an MRI. It came out negative for anything. So let me respond to that, Jeanette. So this was one great thing that Dr. Hoffer and me talked about. He put me in the right direction. I talked to him. You remember, guys, when I was saying I need to send my DTIs to the University of Pennsylvania. I'm going to send my DTIs to the University of Pennsylvania. And I never got around to doing it. I was always doing other stuff, and I was just like, God, they're not going to be able to help me. He said, you need to get in touch with the University of Pennsylvania. You look at the JAMA report. You look at the 3 top doctors on that JAMA report list for University of Pennsylvania. And then he said, send your DTIs and your MRIs to them, but call them first and get it set up. So we talked about that, and he said that's going to be the best way, because Dr. Hoffer is not a neurologist. He's a specialized otolaryngologist, ENT, and he doesn't know as much as I hope. He probably knows a lot about like how the ears are connected to the brain, but he's a doctor, so he has to stay within these parameters when he treats patients. So he was saying University of Pennsylvania. We really got to look into University of Pennsylvania, guys, and especially if you've gotten DTIs or MRIs, we need to get in touch with people there, with doctors there, and start sending those, because I think I don't think so. They are the ones who found damage to the white matter tracts. And I've said that a long time ago. I didn't follow up, but because I went and saw Dr. Hoffer, I'm definitely going to follow up on it. Future Knowledge says, yes, Kyle, they're all special access programs, extreme compartmentalization. And that's what I think too. So I think we've got some really good guys looking into it. They know a lot. About it. But they're not part of the compartment of the DoD that's actually doing it. Okay, could be. Well, Tim Greenglass said could be FBI or any branch of the military. I'll just tell. Okay, and then wait, there was a good comment before then. Sleeping Beauty said, I had someone tell me it's the DOJ and FBI. That, Sleeping Beauty, that's very interesting. That is very, very interesting, because Dr. Hoffer kind of got me thinking a little bit differently. He said, think about departments that work on American soil. So we were just talking about American targeted individuals. We weren't talking about the whole global thing. I didn't have that much time with him. But he said, it's not the DoD. And I said, well, is it the CIA? He said, it's not the CIA. He said, think about agencies that work on American soil. And he hates, I don't want to say hate. He didn't say, I can't remember how he referred to the DOJ, but he does not like the DOJ. He kind of said the DOJ is kind of the bad guys. Yeah, Deb Solon says, whoever it is, it pisses me off. Yes. I'm just at a point, guys, where I'm just like, we gotta keep rolling. We gotta keep getting awareness out, because this crap is doing stuff to my brain that is scary. I mean, that's why I'm like saying mind control now, because last night they had me thinking like weird stuff. And I was like, that's not, it's bad. I don't even, on this video, I don't want to go into the details of how bad my remote neural manipulation is, but it's bad. I mean, where they're hitting you in the chest, you feel like you're going to die. And then your brain is like, it just feels like my attackers are driving my brain and my emotions. They can't get me to do anything. I know that. I know they'll never be able to get me to do anything. But when you're trying to make decisions and stuff like that, and they're messing with your brain, they're making you feel strongly in like a wrong direction or something like that, or just making you feel really anxious. So it's hard to make a good decision, Heiko Lacko says, can't post links in chat. Yeah, you can post links in chat if you want. Jennifer says, yes, Kyle, they do the extreme mind control on me as well. Yeah, it's really bad. It's really bad, Jennifer. Dave Case's CD it seems like it reduces it, but it seems like they still get some of it through. You know, they still get some making me feel certain ways, and you know, I have to fight it with my logic, right? I have these two guys in my head. One of them's my emotion, and one of them's my logic. And the logic guy sometimes is like, dude, you're gonna have to go sit in the back for a little while, because my attackers, when I'm feeling really emotional about something, it's like they can get it. It's like an opening, you know. I'm trying to balance that out and find a homeostasis with it. Diana says, and hello, Diane, and hello, Jennifer, and hello, Sleeping Beauty, and Tim, and Trevor. Diana says, I'm with you on that. 42 and feel like I nearly have Alzheimer's and heart pains and electrical activity that feels near seizures. Yes, yeah. I'm sorry, Diana. Yeah, that's like I like the last night in Miami, I felt like I was gonna have a stroke or something. And it was really weird. On the way to see the doctor, I was going to take a left turn and then a right turn to get to the medical building. And on the right before we were going to take the left turn, I got hit in the chest, and then the light stopped, and then all these fire trucks started coming in, and the light stayed red for 20 minutes. So we almost, you know, we were almost late to the appointment. If we wouldn't have left like an hour and a half early, we would have been late for the appointment. I talked to, you know, I talked to my girlfriend about it, and she was like, well, you know, it could just be a coincidence. I was like, yeah, it could be. I don't know. You know, I don't know. It seemed very, very weird. And some target individuals don't have gang stalking, so it's like it's hard for them to understand, you know, how far that stuff goes. But I kind of felt like it was some gang stalking. I got some vehicular stalking that was very, very weird. Jeff says Dave Case's CD has seemed to reverse brain mapping for me. Yeah, it'll cut them off. Like, it confuses their weapon systems. They're probably going to try and adapt to it though. So you're going to get a couple of years of like where they're trying to adapt to this stuff. I hope it reverses brain mapping, Jeff. I don't know. We gotta talk. I gotta have you come on a live stream and talk about how that's working for you and everything. Okay, so I'm not finished. I'm not nearly finished, but I kind of got off track. I like reading y'all's chats. If y'all have any questions though, like did he say anything about this, or did he say anything about that? You know, please put that in, because that may jog my memory on what we talked about. These are my mom's notes right here. I can't read any of her writing. She put this one, y'all won't be able to read it, but it's like, it says chemicals affect different people different ways. And that's what it was. He said it's a very, very important point to all of the directed energy attacks, is that there are certain toxins, Zen calitrates. And hey, Stacy, how you doing? Sleeping Beauty says, I had gang stalking when I lived in Denver, but that slowed way down after moving to a small town in northern Wisconsin. Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the thing, Sleeping Beauty. Like in Baton Rouge, my vehicular stalking is like clockwork. I get it all the time, every street I go down. In Miami, it was like every once in a while, I'd see like a black SUV with one headlight. We would have like a state police pull up alongside of us, or there'd be like a security car, like just a regular security car with one headlight. So I saw some one headlight cars where the cars were like so perfect. The cars were like washed and everything like that. So it's almost like, you know, wherever you go, DHS fusion centers are going to kind of just, you're a GPS point, and then they gang stalked you. We even drove down to Coral Castle, and it's about 30 minutes or 45 minutes outside of Miami in Homestead, Florida. And we pulled into a gas station to get some water and gas. And like a guy in a gray car pulled in with one headlight, and didn't get anything. He waited in his car while we got gas. So there was even some, when we went outside of Miami, there was some weird gang stalking. And there was one incident, I may talk about it on another video though, because I do want to just talk about this appointment. You know, I want to try and remember everything that I can think of. Oh, Diana said, I'd be curious to ask him about cannabis. Yeah. Yeah, for the medicine thing. All right, Stacy. Stacy says, I gotta go. I'll be back later, you guys. Love you all. Okay, cool, man. Yeah, I think she's like running errands and stuff today. Thanks for dropping by. Yeah. Yeah, I think she's running errands and stuff. But I just had to get it done. I guess I would have waited tonight. Yeah, you know, she doesn't care. I was like, oh, I want you to be able to come to the live streams, but I guess I'm gonna be tired tonight, you know, if I do tonight. But I always want all you guys who are regularly at my live streams, I want y'all to be here. Let's see. I guess let me pull this up. Let me pull this diagram of the inner ear, because he showed me, and he had a way better diagram, guys. Like he had a way better diagram on his wall. Let's see. Okay, you can see where my clicker's pointing, guys. He said, and it was a different diagram that he had, but he pointed, and it was way more specific, but he was pointing to like this part, and this is the vestibular branch of vestibulocochlear nerve. And he said that's where the frequencies are interacting to affect the brain. That's where well, he said this. He didn't say that. That's what I got out of it. He kind of, I think he thought my intelligence was a little bit lower because he hadn't talked to me for that long. But as we kept talking more, he understood that I had researched this and been going through this a lot. So at the beginning, he was saying things like, that's where, you know, that's where the directed energy is affecting the ear. That's what this is exactly what he said. That this is where the directed energy, the frequencies are affecting the ear. I may not have gotten that exactly right, but he said pretty much that. And it's where the little hand's pointing, the vestibular branch of the vestibulocochlear nerve. And his diagram was much more detailed. So this whole part had different sections and detailed sections of this part. And he actually explained the noise canceling hearing aids a little bit weird. He was like, it's taking the bad frequencies out, and so that the good frequencies are allowed to go back to that point in the ear. I think he maybe missaid that, because I think what it really does is it just blocks out the negative frequencies. But that's kind of how that's exactly what he said, because I think he thought that, like, he didn't really know my intelligence level, like, right when I started talking to him. So he was trying to explain things like really simply. Okay. Oh, I do want to show y'all this real quick. I want to show y'all, my mom took this picture. I did ask, I don't know if y'all can see that. I don't know if y'all can see that. Let me let's see. Let me go back. I'm gonna stop sharing just so I can make sure y'all see this. Share my screen. I asked him. Yeah, y'all can see that, right? I asked him if he would let, and it was weird because my mom was like sitting in a chair and I was just kind of like leaning back. But I asked him if he would do the little video for us. I asked him if he would do the little video for us, but he was kind of like, he said, here, let me stop sharing that. he was like, I go, well, we do a little video for us, you know, just like giving targeted individuals hope. And he was like, no, I don't feel like, he was just like, no, I really don't, you know, I don't really want to do that. But then my mom was like, well, hey, can I take a picture of you with Kyle? And she was like, you're like Kyle's hero. And I got really embarrassed because like, I was like, he's my hero. But then I kind of thought about it, and I was like, he's an authority figure and he's acknowledging that this is going on. Yeah, he is kind of my hero. And I think my mom kind of got that impression because I talked about him all the time. I was like, oh, Dr. Hoffer says this, and he has this presentation, and he's going to help us a lot and everything like that. So my mom was kind of getting the impression that, yeah, like he was one of my heroes. So I guess I can't argue with that. You know, any authority figure that's talking about this stuff and will help us. I mean, so like, even if he does, let's look at the picture again. That's what I got from him. I got from him that he is a very kind man. And he was like, I think he has a lot of targeted individuals that are coming to see him. And he was like, oh, targeted individuals are traveling all this way. You know, I wish I could help you more. He was like, targeted individuals are traveling all this way. But really, what I can do is tell you, are you like Cuba or are you not like Cuba, right? So that's why he was saying, you know, I need to take those DTIs and bring them to, and send them to the University of Pennsylvania. Everybody remember University of Pennsylvania, because we all need to be contacting them. So, okay, so Jeffo says, Wolverine, did you mention you asked Dr. Hoffer about chemical shielding? I did. I said, is there something specific? But really, he was like, what I can offer is just, you need to go to pain management. So he didn't know anything specific, you know, to cut down on the targeting. Kratom works for me. Lorazepam works for me. And then different kind of supplements like Drenamine, well, we, you know, there's so many supplements, but for me, it's been supplements, and then lorazepam's the only medication, you know, that seems to really help. But there's also, like, you know, there's other things that work as chemical shielding. Okay. I still have a lot but I'm forgetting. My brain's kind of going blank right now. Okay, so Sleeping Beauty asked, did he think you were like Cuba? So what he was talking about specifically, they had something. I told him that my balance is off, you know, the tinnitus-like sound. As targeted individuals, we all kind of have that. But he said there was something very, very specific. And he would not say it because he doesn't want people to just say that they have that and go, and I completely get that. What I think that he meant is, I think there was some specific damage because he's an ENT, he's an otolaryngologist. Now, this is hypothesis. This isn't what he said. Dr. Hoffer did not say this. What I was thinking is that there's a very specific damage to the inner ear that the Cuban embassy workers had. Very specific. And that's why, as an otolaryngologist, he was called in, because they probably went to an initial doctor who probably, well, maybe they didn't go to initial doctor. Maybe he was the initial doctor. Yeah, I think he was the initial doctor, but I think it was a very, very specific balance issue. But I was talking to Stacy, and we were talking about it, and she was saying, you know, that's kind of not really fair. Well, not really fair. I forgot the word she used, but it's like, because all targeted individuals are hit, you know, differently, right? We're all hit with different integrated weapon systems, directed energy still. But then if there's these, what are they called? Zen calitrates. I don't even think I'm getting that right, guys. If somebody could help me with that, toxins, specific kind of toxins that make the directed energy work differently. Yeah, Tim Greenglass says Kratom. Kratom has helped me so much. Like, Kratom has helped me so much, but you gotta make sure you just don't take too much all the time. you know. And Cheryl Lewis says, Kyle, my doctor won't give me anything. Cheryl, you should, your doctor won't give you any Ativan. Yeah, Jeff says, I'm guessing you take 0.5 to 1 milligrams of lorazepam a day. Yeah, you're exactly right, Jeff. Some days I'll take 0.5 if it's not too bad. If my kratom's working good, my defenses are working good. But then some days when the stress is just too much and the remote neural manipulation is really, really strong, then I'll take 1 milligram of Ativan. Yeah, I'd really recommend it. It has an 11-hour half-life, which means that it lasts 11 hours. So if you take Xanax, that lasts like 4 hours, 4 to 6 hours. If you take Ativan, you can just take one at night and it's going to work some of the day, or you can just take it during the day and it's going to work for a long time, like at a good level. Hey, Cece, how are you doing? I was actually talking to my mom about you, Cece. I was like, because she just bought a oh man, I can't, okay, my attacker's like shut down my mind. She just bought a like not a motorhome. She bought a oh wow, that's really bad. Can somebody help me out here? She bought, Cece, what did you buy? You bought, it's like a motorhome or whatever. It's a I can't think of the other word for it, but she bought one and I was like, yeah, I have a targeted individual friend that you know, bought a motorhome and she's like traveling the country. Cece says, having a good day yesterday and slightly good today, right out of nowhere. That's good. Hey, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Like when we're having good days, just enjoy it, you know. Cece says, I might try kratom as long as it's not going to get me high. I don't do that. It the red vein kind of gives you a feeling like a painkiller a little bit. It really does. Now I'd say that the like lorazepam just calms you down. Kratom at first it might kind of give you an elated feeling or like you're on a painkiller or something. Okay, you got a van. You didn't get a what's the word I'm thinking of? Guys, help me out. Not a motorhome, but a why can't I think of it? Yeah, but it's like a kind of like a smaller version of a motorhome, and I just can't think of it. Yeah, an RV. I'm sorry. Yeah, CC, thank you. An RV. Yeah, my mom bought like an RV that's what is it like? It's like 20 feet long or something like that. It's really, really nice. Okay. So Cheryl says, Kyle, I used to, but when I moved, my new doctor won't give me any. You gotta talk to him more. If he won't give you anything, then he might not be the right doctor. Because chemical shielding really helps. It's really necessary. Like it's really necessary in this. Talked about James Giordano. So Dr. Hoffer does. James Giordano is a colleague of his. And James Giordano is a neurologist. You know, if you're not going to go to University of Pennsylvania to get this checked out, we might just need to start contacting Dr. James Giordano. I don't know how much I trust Dr. James Giordano. I trust Dr. Hoffer, and if you are a TI with money and means, and you just want to talk to a doctor about this, you might not have, but I would really say if you're a targeted individual with hearing damage, like he can help you. He can help you and talk about the targeted individual stuff. But if you're just a targeted individual who you're getting all the stuff, you're getting the high-pitched tinnitus sound, you're getting the remote neural manipulation, really the stuff that he has to offer is the noise canceling hearing aid and the noise canceling headphones. And that's kind of, I mean, he can talk to you and say, I don't, you know, I'm sure you're being hit with directed energy. He can give you that confirmation. But as far as like, and maybe he could, if you're going to stay in Miami for like a couple of weeks, then he could maybe point you in the direction of somebody to do eye movement testing, concussion testing, balance testing and everything. He wouldn't even do the balance testing and the eye movement testing. I would have to go somewhere else and he would take a look at those. What I might do is I might get somebody, and I might just go to University of Pennsylvania, and then they can do that testing, and then I might get copies sent to Dr. Hoffer and maybe just get his opinion. Yeah, Diana says Giordano trains West Point cadets. Yeah. So I don't trust Dr. Giordano. I think Dr. Giordano talks about neuroethics, and then he actually participates. You know, he's an advisor to the Pentagon on neurotechnology. So I'm very suspicious of his involvement in this program. I'm not so much suspicious of Dr. Hoffer's involvement in doing this. I don't think he's doing this. I think he really is just looking at it from a like, I don't even think he's positive about. Well, I think he is positive about who's doing it, and I think that who said it earlier? I can't remember who said it earlier. Sleeping Beauty, I think she said it earlier. We're talking about the, you know, and he didn't say this word for word, but when he said, think about agencies that are working on domestic soil, we're thinking of the DOJ, we're thinking of the FBI, we're thinking of DHS, we're thinking of NSA. Now, it's hard for me to think, it would be easy for me to think that those agencies are surveilling, right? But this experimentation and torture, would the NSA be, you know, doing this experimentation and torture, especially because of all the research that I've done about, you know, Air Force Research Laboratory, naval intelligence, putting out contracts, then Lockheed Martin, all these contractors and subcontractors associated with universities doing the experimentation. I think Dr. Hoffer may just not be aware of those things. And I think that the FBI, the DOJ, NSA, and DHS have involvement with these programs, but how much are they doing the experimentation? Now, I do want to tell you all something really interesting. I've accused my attackers of being everyone, right? I'm like, hey, y'all are ex-Army or whatever. They don't say anything. Like, oh, y'all are ex-CIA or CIA. They don't say anything. The only people, when I said, you guys are NSA, they said, yep, we're NSA. And they started acting like it. The only people that my attackers have said that they are, now this doesn't mean much, right? Because they lie, but the only people they have said like, we're this, is NSA. And that's what my attacker said. It's the only people they have said that they are. When I've accused them of being everyone under the sun. Sleeping Beauty says CSS is part of NSA. What's CSS? But and Sleeping Beauty says, I don't know what they do. No one talks much about them. Now, I mean, I think that, you know, yeah, me and my girlfriend Stacy were talking about it too, and she was saying, I think all these agencies are involved. You know, they're all doing a little bit of it. There's little compartments in every one of these agencies, you know, is involved. And I said, yeah, that's really smart. You know, Diana says, I think the NSA and DOJ work really close together. Yeah. Dr. Hoffer, I don't want to get him in trouble. That's what I'm trying to do, guys. I'm trying to be careful because he's a good guy, and he is. Jax is right. He is an advocate for us, but he, like, if you go in there and you're not like Cuba, he's not going to ask you a bunch more questions. You can offer things up, but he's not going to be writing medical papers on you, you know. So I really just want to be careful when I say things that he said. But I think he was careful. My mom was saying it too. She was like, he was careful with what he said. He didn't tell you anything that you can't repeat, probably. He doesn't like the DOJ. He says they're not good. He says they're not really good guys. I just don't want to get him in trouble, you know, because he really was trying to help. Like, he was trying to give me any kind of information and kind of not like confirmation. I guess he was trying to confirm things from my mom because he could tell that was a huge thing. So he was like, you know, telling her that the Crohn's disease and post-traumatic stress disorder didn't have anything to do with it. But he was trying to, you know, help me on thinking it's going to be okay. Like, they're good guys. Like, it seemed like one of the things that he did is he was like, you know, with the nodding like this, he was kind of saying they're good guys that are trying to look into this and they're trying to stop it. And it gave me a lot of hope, you know. Jennifer says, mine say they are government contractors. That's who I think it is still. That's who I think is doing the torture and experimentation is contractors under the DOD. I still think that. But I do think that the FBI, the DOJ, NSA, and DHS have their fingers in the pie of the surveillance and the DHS fusion centers, the gang stalking, the psyops, right? So they're getting a little piece of the psyops. They're getting a piece of us, right? But then I think that the main torture and stuff like that, that's done by government contractors, DOD contractors, I think. But then all these other people, they're surveilling us. They're getting information from those DOD contractors. So it's like these agencies are fusing, just like DHS fusion centers are fusing citizens with sheriff's department, with state police, with EMS workers, with firemen and everything like that. You got a fusion of like FBI, NSA, DOD, you've got a fusion of all these upper agencies, DOJ, so DOJ, CIA, FBI, they're trying to fuse everything so that they can have more information, Sleeping Beauty says, I've been questioning CrowdStrike. Oh, I've been questioning CrowdStrike as a contractor. The one that I think is contracting on me, and me and Midge talked about this, we think we have the same, is Arcadis. Arcadis, ARCADIS, but it's a very what's it called? Diversified tech company. So if you look up Arcadis, you find all these other diversified things. So the inner ear, he did say a lot about the inner ear being a balance organ. That's why we lose balance when we're targeted. Like I'll wake up in the morning. Yeah, Odin Wutan says NSA stands for Nazi Stasi agency. Yeah. Let's see. Trevor says, true, Dave, and I'm sure Hoffer is concerned for his safety. We put people in difficult circumstances. We are the rabbits in the hole, test subjects, dogs on the track with odds and likely payouts. I think you're right, Trevor. I think that even if you come up, you come across a good man who wants to help, it becomes complicated because like to help us is to endanger somebody. And my mom's been endangered. Like I think she was already targeted, and I'm very worried she's going to be targeted even harder because she believes me a lot more now, and my attackers see her as a threat now. And they may get other contractors to do harder targeting. So I mean, how do you even handle that? I don't even know what to feel about that. I don't know how to feel about any of this stuff. That's why I say there's two people in my head, my logic and my emotion. And the logic guy, most of the time, is like, just go sit in the back to the emotion guy, because all of this is just, it's a war and it's just too crazy. Jeff says, my IP address was rerouted to S&P Global Markets Intelligence, which has a huge contract with the DOJ. So that's another thing, guys. I mean, these contractors can also contract out to the DOJ. They don't just have to contract out to the DOD. I just really get a feeling that it's contractors under the DOD that are doing the torture and the mind control and all this stuff. Then you got DHS fusion centers, FBI, the DOJ, and which other one we're talking about, but you got all those getting a piece of the surveillance and the psyops and all that stuff. So you got all these agencies kind of getting a piece of it. Let's see, Jeanette says, neocons and neolibs are different sides of the same coin. I would like to know which of our elected officials have stock in the military. That's a good question too. Which ones of them are either blackmailed or have stock in these military contractors? That's very smart. Jennifer says, oh my God, Arcadis was a long-term client of the company I work for. Look into him, Jennifer. That could be why our targeting's really similar. Yeah, I would look into him. Arcadis. And Midge thinks her contract. And Midge thinks she was. Well, I don't want to go go too much into Midge's personal stuff, but we kind of both think Arcadis is who's doing it to us. Yeah, look them up, see what you can find, see what you can find. Okay, let's see what I missed. You guys, any questions? Any more questions? Just let me know. Did he say anything about it? Because he said more, but yeah, he said even my mom put directed energy down a lot because he was referring to all this as directed energy attacks. He was like, I have no doubt that you're being hit with directed energy. He's just like, I don't know what kind. And I can kind of tell you, are you like Cuba? Are you not like Cuba? But he is an advocate for us, just as Jax was saying. See you later, Diana. Thanks for coming. Diana says, see you guys soon. Have a great day. Friend just stopped by. Peace. Peace and love to you, Diana. Thank you for coming by. I hope some of this information helped. And I'll be going, I'll be checking with the University of Pennsylvania too. David Irwin says, mostly security firms and watch groups drawing additional funding from fusion centers. DHS runs DOJ, overseas sheriff's organizations, aware and often complicit community-oriented policy justifies. Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. Yeah, Trevor says, Cheryl, my head feels like it's on fire with no relief. Yeah, it's like the Hunger Games. Dude, I watched those movies and I was like, yeah, it's like or The Running Man, The Running Man or something, except the problem with us is that we're not even supposed to have a chance. At least in Running Man, in the Hunger Games, they're a champion's supposed to have a chance. With us, it's just like, we're going to keep experimenting on you and torturing you and badgering you with harassment until until you're destroyed. And we'll just do it forever. We have all the time in the world, and that's our. I think that's their greatest strength. It's not these weapons. It's not that they're so smart. It's that they have all the time in the world. With Dr. Hoffer's nod, kind of says that time's getting short for these guys, and I want to believe that. Some of you may not have as much hope as me in that. I kind of lose hope sometimes. I've been going through this for so long, but I believe that we will see the end of this in the next few years. I really believe, and I want it so bad. Sleeping Beauty says, "Oh, I didn't even notice." No, okay. Yeah, be careful, guys that are moderators. Don't don't delete or don't delete good people. And if somebody's just messing around, like if they're just cussing or messing around or they're angry, you don't have to delete them. Hey, PA, how you doing, man? Yeah, PA says, I hope so, Kyle. I hope so, and I have a lot of faith in it. My logical mind is kind of like, I don't know when this is going to end. But look, I mean, I don't think I could have talked to a doctor. Other TIs could have talked to a doctor who admits that this is going on 5 years ago. That's a huge change. That's a very huge change. Yeah, I like that, future knowledge. He says, Cheryl, I hate to hear that. They torture me pretty good too. Someday we're going to get their ass. Yeah. I think they're already gotten. Like, I don't know. I guess I would like justice. I would like justice from these people, but I just want this to end. I think anybody who would do, torture somebody 24 hours a day or betray innocent people in their country, they have to have no soul, and their lives can't be that great, Charles James says, more people are aware of this, that's for sure. Just so much disinformation and mixed perceptions. Yeah. I really think what's the one, is disinformation purposeful? Disinformation is purposeful, right? I think what we're dealing with more is misinformation, because we've got a lot of targeted individuals who are trying to figure everything out, and it's all so confusing. And some of them are like, no, I'm sure it's this. And then some are like, no, I'm sure it's that. So I think our biggest problem is misinformation. I think we've got a little bit of disinformation. We definitely have a certain percentage of it, but I think our bigger problem, the people who are trying to tell the truth, who are trying to figure it out, who aren't trying to lie, it's misinformation, you know. But yeah, totally. Just trying to think. Y'all ask me any more questions. The main thing that he was saying for the, you know, the chemical shielding was, you know, go to a chronic pain clinic, you know. Says the DOD is the good guys, the DOJ not so good. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but my mom wrote that down. This was one weird thing I said. I asked him, I said, you know, I think that I have, and this was right at the beginning, I said, I think that I may have an implant in my ear, and I would like to be checked for that. I don't think that he did that. He was kind of like, well, I don't really do that. I don't do the imaging. But I was like, well, can you at least just check in my ear? And when he checked my ears, it was like, boom, boom. I mean, I actually asked Stacy about that. I was like, he just did it real quick. And I was like, I mean, did he just not want to check? And she said that like when ENTs, you know, do that for so long, it's just like secondhand. They just boom, boom. It's really quick. So it wasn't any, you know, I was kind of suspicious about it. But I talked to people and they were like, no, that's just you know, that just, you know, they do it so much. David Irwin says noise to cover the signal. Are you asking if he said anything about certain noises to cover the signal? Just the noise canceling hearing aid and the noise canceling headphones. I think that unless your hearing is damaged as a targeted individual, he might not give any new solution. Maybe he will. Maybe he'll find out new solutions. But his attitude towards me was, "I'm sorry you came all this way. I wish I could help you more." Even when my mom was like, "Hey, can he take a picture with you? You're his hero." He was like, "Well, I don't know why, because I didn't help y'all much, you know." So, but he may learn more about it. So I definitely don't want to say like, you know, if you want to go see him, go see him. It maybe if more, you know, I think that if more people see these doctors, they'll see trends. They might be able to speak it. Like if he saw more targeted individuals when he's giving presentations or talking to the good guys in our government about this, he would have more information on it, you know. Trevor says, the experiments never ended. Kyle, this is so important. Thank you. Yeah, I hope so, guys. I'm trying to get all the information. There's a lot of stuff too. I'm going to talk about it later. Me and my mom had conversations in Miami, and I found out a lot of stuff about what my dad was doing before his aneurysm. And he was like very involved in telecommunications and buying up frequencies. And he was like in this court case where he was basically the star witness because she didn't even remember the name of the company. He worked with WorldCom and then another company. He's an honest business. My dad's an honest businessman, but a lot of other stuff involved in my situation that I need to talk about. So it's like the whole trip, the trip as a whole with my mom was just completely worth it. And then the appointment with Dr. Hoffer was great because it was like an authority figure confirming it. And he did give us some stuff to work on. You know, he gave us some good information, the noise canceling hearing aids, the noise canceling headphones. I don't think I'm going to be able to use the noise canceling headphones. They're too expensive. PA says, look out for Charlie. Had an interesting video of hidden messages in these signals a couple of days ago. Yeah, everybody check out Look Out for Charlie's channel. Somebody told me he wanted me to send him an email and talk to him, and I never did it. It wasn't that I gotta talk to him. He's a really smart guy. Yeah, he's like the #1 targeted individual who's getting recordings. Some of the things that he gets recordings of, I can't really hear anything clear, but if he keeps doing it, he's going to get better and better recordings. So please support his channel. You know, please support his channel. Future Knowledge says, Kyle, I deleted 2 rude messages. I deleted Sleepy Beauty's messages on accident. My finger slid. Oh, no, it's not a big deal, Future Knowledge. No, I was just saying that in general, you know. No, you're good. You're good. You're a moderator. I trust you guys, you know. I trust you guys. Generation says, Melinda Kidder, from Columbia investigation with Dr. Steninger, all the implant scannings and toxicology and military grade nano, or you can go to LabCorp, where David Larson used to get evidence in one. Okay, so LabCorp, and then you got, I heard that Melinda Kidder and Dr. Steninger are not doing it anymore though. Do you know something different than that, generation? Okay, Jeff told me that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I haven't gotten in touch with him yet. I'm going to do that this week. I'm going to get in touch with Lookout for Charlie this week. I need to talk to him. I like when he first put his video out about the cleansing techniques, I made a video about it, like just telling everybody to go to his channel and to do this stuff. And it really, really worked. So generation said, just make a phone call. I guess I need to. I don't know. I've heard a lot of people talk about Melinda Kidder's results, saying they have chips all over their bodies, and it was very, very expensive. And I don't know. I have mixed feelings about that. But yeah, people should check into them, definitely. LabCorp, I'm definitely going to check into. Oh, David Irwin's saying disinformation is noise to cover the truth. Nothing to do with Dr. Hoffer. That statement, guys like Hoffer using strict parameters to cancel statistical noise. In fact, yeah, it's actually a good idea. I'm trying to, and I try and do that too. But I do, as a targeted individual who, I think we got to figure out some stuff. I really, I kind of just, if you just stick with facts that everybody knows, we might not get far enough. But I see what you're saying. Yeah, it's very, he has to stay in strict parameters of like, this is what I know, this is what I don't know. So generation says she has proved experience in courts. You can see court files for implants. Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, I heard that there were a lot of court cases. Did they win generation? Because I didn't hear where they got settlements or anything. Like I heard myths about them, but I didn't really see any proof or anything like that. I'm not saying she didn't help. I'm not saying she's not, but the body area networks and everything, what I've learned about this, and maybe some targeted individuals have different stuff, is that they don't need a lot of body area networks. I do think nanoparticulates can clump up. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a path that a lot of targeted individuals need to go down and have gone down. Melinda Kidder and Dr. Steninger. I'm just doing what I think. I wanted to go see Dr. Hoffer. So we all need to be doing, I'm not saying every TI go see Dr. Hoffer or whatever. We all need to be doing a bunch of stuff, right? So that's definitely something people need to look into. Generation says when plus she can tell if it CIA type of implant. So they just won those court cases and stopped being targeted. I don't know about that. Cheryl says, I spoke with Dr. Steninger quite a while ago, and it cost like $10,000. What did they win? They won just settlements with gag orders. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that on another video, because I've heard a lot of stuff about that, but I never heard that they just did they win? So they proved that they were being targeted in court, and then the court said, hey, people are being targeted, and then it came out on the news and we all missed it. I mean, what did they, or they just won settlements with gag orders? I don't know. I heard Melinda Kidder wasn't doing it anymore. And then I don't know about Dr. Steninger. Definitely check that out though. Definitely TIs, check out those two names, give them a call. And then what was the name of the LabCorp? Definitely check out LabCorp. I don't know, but the problem is there are a lot of people who are just like, yeah, somebody won a court case and they got a settlement, and then nobody really talks to the person who got that. So, let's confirm information too, So I told you all about sending the DTI MRI to University of Pennsylvania. Supplements medicine. He wouldn't give me an email, guys. Okay, so Generation says check David Larson medical files. You will see LabCorp results. So that's a good idea. Check David Larson medical files. You will see LabCorp results. And let's see. I guess when Generation says they won, I guess they won settlements, and then got gag orders, so they couldn't talk about winning in court. But if they're telling people they won in court, I don't know. Some of that's really confusing to me, Generation, because it's like I hear about it through the grapevine, but I just I'll check out that evidence and maybe I'll do a video on it. How about that? Yeah, that's what I'll do. Okay, so let's see what else I wrote. So the Beats noise canceling headphones. Recommended not to wear the noise canceling hearing aids at night, but I'm still going to wear mine at night sometimes. He just said the ear needs to heal. The different toxins that make electromagnetic frequencies work differently. I forgot what they're called, but something calitrates. He said it's a huge point of this. So cleansing is a huge point in this. Okay, so Generation says, I don't know specifics, but I know they are implants free. Okay, so maybe Dr. Staniger can get implants out. Because what I was hearing, Generation, I was hearing that people were going to Melinda Kidder, and she did imaging, and she said you have this body area network like this, and the frequencies come, and then Dr. Staniger would tell them what the frequencies were that were coming in, because they work together. And you'd pay like $15,000 or something like that for both of them. And then, but I didn't hear about any of them getting the implants out. I didn't hear that either of those women could get the implants out. So I've got to look into that more. I didn't hear that they were implants free. So I think maybe there's some miscommunication or rumor out there, but we need to check into it, because if they're implants free from going to either of those three, Melinda Kidder, Dr. Staniger, or LabCorp, then we definitely need to, I'm going to go there because I need to check for an implant and get it taken out. So I know I probably have one over here somewhere. And I know Dr. Hoffer definitely cannot do that. He definitely can't scan for implants and take them out. But yeah, I'm going to look into that. I'm going to look into that Generation, because that's really important. Melinda Kidder, Dr. Staniger, LabCorp. So we all need to look into those. If you could maybe put a link, Generation, if you have a link you could put in the chat for the LabCorp result for David Irwin. I guess just look up David Irwin. I'm gonna look that up. That's super important. Thank you, Generation. Okay. Yeah, the big thing, I guess. Yeah, he said he was seeing the Cuban embassy workers for the DOD. Showed me the diagram of the inner ear. Said there are medical papers being written. I don't, but it's not like with me going in, he would try and collect data from me for medical papers, but he said that is happening. He didn't give me very clear details on that. And then what I'll do, Jeff said, whatever happened to Dr. Hoffer speaking with the CDC about targeted individuals? Did I imagine this? Who said that, Jeff? Maybe you. I didn't say that. I didn't say Dr. Hoffer's going to talk to the CDC, but I would like to talk to whoever has that information, because that would be awesome if there was like a news story about him talking to the CDC or something. So Generation says you can buy body area network module body from the internet. So you can buy a body area network module from the internet. Okay. I need to check into some more stuff like that, Generation. I also do want to check out, Frank Allen said that, Jeffo? Maybe he was. Maybe he was going to talk to the CDC. I'm not sure. Davy Larson. I have little online presence. Okay. Rick M says perp activity everywhere. DMV offices, post offices, banks, every place where they can be disruptive. I can't even order tires without it being a big mess. Yeah. I had some really weird situations like in Miami. It were just like one morning we went down the day after I saw Dr. Hoffer, we came down for breakfast and like, and I try not to, I try to just ignore gang stalking. I have some around my condo, but it's older people who do it to me. And we went to breakfast and my mom was like sitting in front of me. And then this guy with like a black Nike hat and a black Nike shirt came and like sat down behind her. And he was like holding his phone like and acting like he was aiming it at me. And he was definitely a gang stalker, like in the hotel I was at. So I got gang stalked at the hotel, kind of a bunch, kind of a bunch. Generations, put your email in this video's comments below. I will send you links. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna put mine. Okay, I'll put it in the comment section too, generation, but mine's just Vulcan Wolverine at gmail.com. I'm really interested in everything you're talking about. It seems really important. And I want to look into it. We got to talk about some of these solutions. If we can find something that's a pretty much home run for somebody doing imaging on implants and then getting them out, like if we can find a home run for that, we all need to start doing that. You know, we all need to focus in on that and do that, and everybody get checked and get them taken out. You know. Yeah, Jeff. Thanks, man. Jeff says I will text Frank now and get back to you, Wolverine. Yeah. Yeah, Frank's. You know, Frank. What's the word for it? He's pretty reliable about information like that. He doesn't just make stuff up. So I'm sure Dr. Hoffer is. Alan Nielsen Brewer says, I heard that each frequency on EMF scanner needs to be registered to the SEC. Allison Ireland was describing it. Yeah, or the FCC or the SEC? Okay, so generation says, focus on labs, medical experts, and targeting expert. Even if you don't have at the moment money, write it down, contact them, ask for prices, do your research. That's, yeah, great advice, generation. Just because it's like, oh, well, I can't afford that, we should still look into it and write down the information, and so we can tell other people, tell other targeted individuals about it too. You're right. You're definitely right. The labs, medical experts. Yeah, so LabCorp. I'm going to check LabCorp, definitely. If they could get an implant, because I just want to be scanned. I guess I would do a full body scan, but I really just want, like, okay, it felt like this, guys, like on the airplane trip to Miami for 30 minutes, the V2K stopped, and it's already kind of stopped by my noise canceling hearing aids, but it made me feel like there had to be a transceiver that was doing the V2K. There had to be a transceiver in my ear or my tooth or something, and it kind of lost connection for 30 minutes of the flight when we were really, really high. So it really kind of made me think that my V2K is mostly coming from a transceiver over here. And maybe they do a little bit of microwave hearing or whatever sometimes, but you know, I'm using Dave Case's CD. A lot of that should be disappearing, right? That's just kind of the feeling I got. I'm not really sure. Sleeping Beauty says, Vulcan Wolverine, I'm going to email you a picture of my brother with purple beams shooting through his head. He took the picture around the same time Dabu77 did a vid on purple skies in Wisconsin. Yeah, send that to me, Sleeping Beauty. I'll show it if you want on a video. Well, I don't want to show your brother's face if you don't want me to do that. But yeah, I'd like to see that. A lot of people, I think, if they get just the exact lighting, they can pick up this directed energy. Like some person was saying, if you get in the magic hour between like right when the sun's going down and you open your blinds a certain angle, you can kind of get directed. You can get directed energy on regular, like on a regular camera. Odin Wutan says, we all have a vibrational frequency. I believe that's why in Egypt they shaved their heads and wore wigs. But I'll tell you what, I went to that Coral Castle, and the guy who made the Coral Castle said he knew the secrets of the Egyptians who put the pyramids up. I'll do a live stream on that. We'll do a fun live stream where I just talk about Coral Castle. But he had this in the bottom section, he slept on the top of this 2-story castle that I put in one of my updates. And on the bottom section, he had all these magnetic current experiments. And I bought like his writings on magnetic currents. I mean, a genius about magnetic currents. But then he had this book called A Book in Every Home, and it was talking about girls and stuff like that. And he was like a freak. He was not good at interpersonal relationships. Remind you of anyone? I'm just joking. I'm good at both. I'm a genius. I'm a genius. Sleeping Beauty says, my brother is here and said you have permission to show it if you want. I will email you Dabu's link with it. Okay, cool. Okay, so Generation said, look at Harassment Task Force website. Harassment Task Force website. And Jeanette says, I hope their empire collapses and people unite and hold these criminals accountable for their atrocities. Don't fall for the Elites' divide and conquer tactics. Boom. Wisdom right there. Everything is divide and conquer. I mean, between me and my mom, between like, you know, daughters and fathers and sons and fathers and brothers and sisters, everything's divide and conquer. And then, you know, whites and blacks, whites and Mexicans, Mexicans and blacks, Asians and Mexicans. Everything's divide and conquer. And now it's, you know, rich and poor, but they make new divisions, right? You know, they make new divisions where it's like LGBTQ or right wing or people who want communism, people who want sanity. Communism is insane. Oh, that's all right, Generation. I knew what you were saying. I'm pretty good at that. Like if somebody misspells something in chat, I can kind of correct it for you. You know, I was a very good speller when I was younger. I think I am still pretty good at spelling. They say geniuses don't spell very good, so I'm a very good speller. Lion and Lamb says, Jeanette, they will fall. The ending of this is in the Bible. Yeah. I'm starting to think that, man. I don't know. I'm kind of a Christian who's just like, God's going to take care of it. You know, I've got to just do my best to fight this the best I can. Hope for a miracle. It may be in God's will. I hope it's in God's will to end this program and to give us a certain kind of peace in our life. Maybe we're supposed to find our peace while this is going on. I still believe that, you know, that this will end, or we'll get things that like tone it down so much that it's inconsequential to our lives, you know. And I'm looking into some things, looking into some very hopeful things, guys, super hopeful things. And I think some of you guys already know about it. I'm not going to say it right now because I want to get it ordered. I'm sorry. It's a little bit selfish. It's a little bit selfish, but I want to get the stuff ordered. Then I'm going to make a video about it. People have already made a video about it, but it's something super, super promising that I'm going to get. I'm going to get it ordered. Then I'm going to make a video about it, you know, because somebody's showing the videos that have already been made about it. And I think it's like, this is good. This is good. So I mean, we're coming up on a lot of hopeful stuff. Visit with Dr. Hoffer. The stuff that Generation was talking about, I'm definitely going to look into that because I've heard about Dr. Stanger and Dr. Kidder, but it was always so expensive. Every time I talk about Melinda Kidder or Dr. Stanger, my attackers are making my face itch. That may mean something. That may mean that we need to go to one of them. They're making like this part of my face itch. PA says between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. is skip time. Is skip time when radio signals can carry up to. Let me read that again. Okay, PA says between 5 Between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. is skip time, when radio signals can carry up to 1,000 miles, sometimes more than they go in and out. Oh, that's like the and that's like the magic hour or magic 2 hours. Rick M says, yes, Trevor. Laurel Canyon had a CIA studio, that social engineering, the 60s movement, drugs, sex, rock and roll, and us. It's all a deception. Yeah, the Laurel Canyon movement. What's it called? Woodstock, and and I can't remember the other one. Dr. Karlstrom always talks about it. He always talks about the my attackers are just shorting out my brain right now. The I can't even remember. I don't even have a chance of remembering it. But it was one of those kind of programs where they were trying to get everybody on drugs and free love and everything like that. Trevor says, Horace, chaos, that is the word I would use to best describe my life. Kali, Ra, Horus, duality, right wing, left wing, checkered board, Masons, hybrid, gray program is linked to. Well, the problem with the duality thing, because I think that's a big thing in Masonry, is it splits the human being's mind. Splits the human being mind when you have a dual mind, black and white, blah, blah. You should do evil, you should do bad. And that's what like Masons and the Illuminati or Cabal splits the mind, so the mind's easier to control. When you want to unify your mind, split mind is easier to control. And so that's why they do a lot of these things, is chaos and dual minded people and stuff. And they tell people there's strength in this duality, but it's Satan's lie. Satan is lying. A unified soul, a unified mind is stronger and cannot be controlled. So you want to be like, that on Avengers Endgame, where Bruce Banner and the Hulk, he eventually combines the two. I kind of want to get a poster of Professor Hulk right here, because that's what I want to do. I want to put my emotional side and my logical side. I want to marry them. I want to marry them, make sure they stay together, because I'm always having to split them. Things are too emotional, and my attackers start using remote neural manipulation when my heart feels a lot of emotion, and I really want to get my logic and my emotion combined. Generation says, you can buy a cheap RTLSDR and scan mic spans 400 to 406 megahertz medical implants in some of the ISM bands. Okay. I got to study that. I'm not good with the different hertzes and ranges and everything like that, but I need to look into that. So I think I have one of those. Is that just a little mic that you can plug into your computer, and you got to get my attackers are really short now. It's weird. Seem like with these noise canceling here, the pain's not as bad, but it seems like my attackers, it seems like the mind stuff is just kind of headed on. RTLS is that like the dongle? It's like the thing you can plug in your computer. It's like a little mic, and you get Audacity. You get the Audacity program, and you can record those things. I got to do that. So we can get more evidence on this. David Irwin says, Trevor, yeah, Berkeley's long-standing connection to Livermore Labs places them DARPA adjacent. Livermore Labs is just all up in this. Yeah. So Jeff says, my targeting started in Oceanside, California, North County, San Diego. I'm pretty sure my targeting started in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, maybe Texas. And I think maybe Texas. I'm pretty sure Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Either Baton Rouge, Louisiana, or Texas, Austin, Texas. That's all right, moment of truth. I think I'm going to wrap it up, guys. I'll do some more live stream. I just wanted to get everything out that I could remember about the appointment. So hopefully you guys can use some of it. I don't necessarily agree with some of the things he said when we were talking about who's doing it. But it added another angle, because I see what he's saying when he says, think about agencies that work on domestic soil. And if I do remember anything else, I'll just, talk about it on another video. I'll probably talk about some of the gang stalking stuff that was going on in Miami. A lot of people, I don't think this was a gang stalking thing. I think that in Miami, people honk a lot more. Like people, like even when you're not doing anything, people just honk. And it kind of, after the fact, when I got back here, I was like, I wonder if everybody honking like that was a gang stalking thing. Because me and my mom always seemed to be around people who would just honk. And we'd be like, who are they honking at? And we couldn't figure it out. And that was just how Miami was. But also, Coral Castle. I want to show you all those pictures. I'll just show you, and like actually, since being hurt so bad by this targeting, like in just feeling my mortality, right? Like I don't know, I don't want to say that this stuff, the remote neural manipulation, is going to drive me insane, but you don't know what's going to happen, and I find myself being more easily entertained by certain things, not by like very sophisticated video games or very awesome movies, but I found that the airplane flight to and from Miami, because my mom gave me her window seat, and it was just awesome to sit there and be above the clouds in that airplane. And I took pictures of it. It was so beautiful. I don't get to fly much. And I thought about how people that fly all the time are just like, oh yeah, we fly all the time. It's just another thing. But I was very, I didn't have to read on the plane. Like it was a 2.5 hour flight, and I just looked out the window, and it was really peaceful. I really enjoyed that. And I find that when you're dealing with this kind of stuff, you start really seeing the beauty in things you took for granted before. So let's leave it on that positive note. Jeff O says, random note, watch out for cannabis these days. It's definitely weaponized in my opinion. Yeah, so be careful where you're getting it from. Don't get it out on the street, obviously, because that's illegal. Yeah, that is something to consider, Jeff. I can't get the, medicinal or what, I can't get the good stuff. Unless I move to California, which somewhere down the road I might be. I don't know. I don't know. But okay, so let's leave it on this, guys. Let's leave it on the part, and if I forgot any details, I'll definitely just say it on another video. And you're welcome, Cheryl. Thank you for coming, guys. Thanks everybody for coming. Let's leave it on this. I stopped everything in the appointment. I said, I don't remember exactly what I said, but I remember what he did. And I said, are there authority figures, good doctors like you, good governmental agencies, law enforcement doing something about this? Are they going to stop all this, all this torture and experimentation that targeted individuals are going through? I mean, just like that. It was not it was like people are working on it. He didn't say that, but let's leave it on that, because that was kind of a very hopeful thing that I got out of it. Jeff says, reminder, Wolverine, please look out for Charlie. I'm going to tell him to be on the lookout for, yes, Jeff, tell him to be on the lookout for my email. I'm going to go through and see where he emailed me. Definitely this week. I will remember. I'm writing that down. Now. I should have talked to him like, right when I made a video about his cleansing thing. It's just sometimes you're just like, you're doing all this stuff and you don't remember, like, especially when it's somebody who, like, he has tons of useful information. He's definitely a real targeted individual. He's doing all these awesome projects and getting V2K. I need him to just do my room or my videos or something, because I've got V2K the whole time, and it sounds like it's coming from there. In the airplane, it sounded like it was coming from actually it sounded like it was coming from behind to the left. But I need to work with him on that. I need to see what kind of equipment he's getting. But I've got to work on so many things that cost money. I'm going to figure that out. I don't want to figure that out right now. I thought I had a pen. I do not have a pen. I'll just write it down right after this video. All right, guys, thank you for coming. I love y'all. I hope some of this information, gave you some hope or anything. Tons of targeted individuals speaking out. Tons of they're white hats. They're white hats. That's I guess that's kind of, yeah. Dr. John Hall also helps TI's generation. This generation, I know you're just throwing that in, but yeah, all those people. This was just about my appointment with Dr. Hoffer. But like, yeah, thank you. I mean, thanks for the input. I just hope you're not like, hey, he's leaving out all these other people or something. Because this video is it was just about the appointment to see Dr. Hoffer. So it's like there's tons of people, helping TIs. I don't think you're saying, oh, you're leaving out all these people. I think you're just putting those in as informational. But I just want to make that clear. This was just about the appointment with Dr. Hoffer. I'm not trying to leave out all these other great doctors who are also helping targeted individuals also. All right, guys, I love y'all. I'm gonna wrap it up. PA says, thanks everyone. Thank you so much for the information, Kyle. Thank you for coming, PA. And I will be contacting you soon. I need to talk to you. I need to talk to a lot of people. But I'm kind of drowning when I'm not doing something on a video or flying to Miami, which I think that's the last hurrah, at least with my mom like paying for it basically. So I'm very lucky to have her. I'm very lucky to have my mom like believe me. It still gets very, we still got into an argument down there. I'm surprised we just got into one argument, but she's the best mom ever. I'm so blessed because I hear targeted individuals talk. And my dad watched my dog while I was gone, and he stayed at their condo across the way and brought my dog out. And he cleaned my kitchen and my bathroom. And my dad's awesome too. Like I have such great parents. I will, PA, definitely I will as soon as possible. Future Knowledge says, thank you, Kyle. Love you, bro. Love all you targeted individuals. And I love you, bro. And I love all you targeted individuals that came. Thank you for coming. Let's end it we got to stay connected in the name of Jesus Christ to our Creator. And then even when things seem not so hopeful, things are coming down the road. So let's just cleave on. Is that the right way to say it? No, cleaving is separating. We want to cling on to God in the name of Jesus Christ and just whatever his will, guys. We do our best. We do our best to get through this. There's an awesome solution coming up. I've just got to, I'm not going to wait till I see if it works, but I'm going to wait till I order it. Because what I've been finding is that when I order stuff that really works, the prices tend to go up. Like, and I don't know if that has to do with me. I'm not completely sure, but there's a supply and demand thing where the hearing aids were less expensive. The earthing stuff was less expensive. And then when I told people about it, I'm not sure. That may be too, I may be thinking about that wrong because I don't see how my little channel could have done that, but it just seemed to be like that. So, but I do want to order this thing. Then I'm going to tell y'all it's a lot of hope. Some of you guys have already heard about it. So more stuff coming up, more stuff coming up. All right, guys. Hey, thanks for coming, Jennifer. Thanks for coming, Moment of Truth. I love you guys. I'm going to go ahead and end it out. But I love you guys, and I will see y'all on the next one. Okay, so Generation says, check out Intel Exit. We will leave it on. Check out Intel Exit. And thank you for coming, Generation. You've got a lot of great information. So just whenever you want to come to a live stream, come to the live stream because you got some great information. I'm going to be looking into that stuff too. If you can email me, vulcanwolverine@gmail.com. Just email me with some of the threads you're following, and I'll check it out. But I love you guys, and I will